Hi, I'm Marie from Crochet A to Z, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button. If you have, thank you. Thank you all for being here. And today I want to do part 2 of the first video that we did with these beautiful crochet ribbed ear warmers. So I mentioned that you can use an embellishment, and I'm going to show you how to make this real simple flower. If you want to add a flower to it, you can. If you want to leave it plain, you can, because it is beautifully ribbed. It's nice and textured. And if you want to add a lining, we're going to do that too with a fleece lining. So I'm going to show you just how easy this is. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this flower first. So I'm using an H hook. And what we're going to do is do our slip knot. And we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go into that first chain that we did. This is your working chain. These are your chains. This is your slip knot. We're going to go right in there, and we're going to do a slip stitch. Once we do that slip stitch, we're going to go and we're going to chain 1. Then we're going to go right in the middle here, right in there, and we're going to do a single crochet. We're going to do a second single crochet. And now we're going to do 10 more. So you'll need 12 single crochets. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can work that right in there, that end. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we're going to do 12. And then you can pull this a little bit, and it'll close that up a little bit. And again, we're going to go right in the top of this, and we're going to do a slip stitch right there. So there's your little circle, and we're going to start doing what we need to do to get this finished. After we do that, we're going to chain 1. We're going to do a single crochet in this first stitch, and you can see where that's right here. We can just pull that, and we can actually cut it so that it doesn't confuse things. So I'm going to cut that right now because I've pulled it enough, and I'm going to cut this right off. Yeah. So now we're going to do a single crochet right there. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do a single crochet right in that first stitch. Now we're going to go into the next stitch, and we're going to do 5 right here. I want to show you right there. We're going to do 5 double crochets. 1 right there, 2, 3, 4, 5. You made your first petal. Into that next stitch, you're going to do a single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to do right there, you're going to do 5 double crochets in this next stitch. And it's kind of like, I can't believe I'm fitting these all in there, but you will. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's hard to believe that you're fitting all of those in there. So now in the next stitch, you're going to do a single crochet. You've got 2 petals done. This is how fast this works up. So in the next stitch, you're going to do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Three petals. Next one, you're going to do a single crochet. Now in the next one, you're going to do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch, the next chain. Now we're going to do another 5 double crochets in the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals. You're going to do a single crochet in this next stitch. Then in this next stitch, you're going to do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals. At the top of this, where you see this double crochet, because you have a single in the middle, right at the top of that double crochet, you're going to just join this together and you're going to do a slip stitch. And you have your little flower that you can put on there, that you can embellish, and you can put your little flower wherever you want, whether you want to put it in the back, the front, wherever you want to put this little flower, you can put this. And it looks really pretty. And that's, like I said, it's up to you. Wherever you want to put it, you can put it. And once you add your flower, I suggest that you add your flower first to wherever you want, and then put your lining in if you're going to add a lining. And what I wanted to mention, if you want to chain 3 here, you can. I did it with the chain 3, and I did it with the chain 4. That's up to you. Whatever you feel as though you want to do this, want to chain. You can either do a 3 or a 4 to get to your flower. It doesn't matter. That's up to you. If you want a more closed middle, you can have a more closed middle. If you want a more open middle, that's up to you. But that's your flower right there. And it looks really pretty. And like I said, it's really easy to make. And you just go right around until you make all of your petals. So now I'm going to show you how we do our lining. So the lining is, you get yourself a good needle, which we're going to do. And what I want to mention ahead of time, and I'm going to get mine with the big eye on it, because 9 times out of 10, I can't thread it because I can't see it. I have a lot of times it's like, oh my gosh. So I want to mention that, again, if you don't want to line these, you don't have to. If you do want to line it, that's perfect. And what we do is we're going to turn this, your fleece, you're going to turn your crochet pot wrong side out. And that's how you're going to do. Now, I'm going to show you how you'll be able to tell wrong side out. You're going to be able to feel it. You're going to be able to see it. This is where you crocheted along to put it together. And if you want to watch the video again to just bring you up. So I'm going to show you something. And if you want to leave your ends and not do them and like leave a little end so that it'll remind you or tell you, you can do that. But you can really tell. First of all, you can feel it because that's where you crocheted, unless you sewed it. But that's okay. You're still going to feel it. If you turn this over, it's easy. There's no ridge. It just looks like all the same. But if you turn it on the wrong side out, you can see it. You can feel it. So you want to turn the crochet wrong side out. And you want that seam to face you. So let that seam face you and let it be that you have it right in the middle. So you try to make it so that it's in the middle. And let me just, so that you can see this. So this is right in the middle. So now what I did is I bought fleece. And the fleece, and what I did was I did an edging. So I sewed the fleece. You're going to sew the end, so you're going to sew your fleece together as if it was your crochet, and then you're going to sew the inside edge so that it cleans it up. Now, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to, and if you want to tuck it in as you go, as you sew it together, I prefer sewing both edges clean, and then you can run your, needle right through it and do what you need to do, and I think it makes it easier. So that's the way I see this. So now what you're going to do is your fleece is going to be right side out, and your crochet is going to be wrong side out. And then you're going to get this and you're going to put this in here. Now I want to show you something. You want to make this kind of not a lot bigger, but just a little bigger on each side. And I want you to be able to see that. So you're going to make it just a little, not a lot bigger, but a little bigger on each side. But not a lot, because you don't want bulk in there. And I'll show you what I mean. So you're going to get your ear warmers and you're going to put them right inside that. And you're going to line it up so that it's, and this is what I mean, what's nice about sewing the edges is that you don't have to stop playing with it while you're trying to sew it. And see how this is a little it's just a bit larger, just a little bit on each end. And you don't have to, by sewing the edges, you don't have to play with that as much and say, oh, I've got to tuck that in. It's not even on each side. That's why I like sewing this way. And then you just get it so that it's even right along, and it's even with, so it's kind of in the middle. You're going to have a little bit showing on each side. That's okay. See at the ends? And that's fine. So now what we're going to do is you're going to get your needle. And like I said, I have to, and you're going to thread your needle with, you know, whatever thread color you need for whatever color lining. You can make your lining any color. You know, you can make it a light color, you can make it a dark color. I just happened to go with the darker color when I made this. Again, like I said, if you don't want to sew in the edges on each side, you don't have to. I like the look. I like it. I think it's easier to sew on there. So I liked sewing the edges the way I did. So now what we're going to do is you're going to make sure you're going to feel, there's your, where you crocheted, and that's going to go right there so that those two edges are in line with each other. And you're going to get your needle, and I'm going to show you. And you're going to bring your needle in there. Okay, so now we're going to start sewing this together. So you're going to put your needle in there, and you're going to just go right along here and sew this together. And like I said, you make sure that you cannot see that you went in there. And we're going to just keep doing this right along until you get this all attached to the inside of your warmers. So you're going to just go right along. And like I said, you're going to make sure that you don't go. And make sure that your needle is not dull. Make sure that it's, because you're going to go through, you know, your fleece. So you want to make sure that your needle is not dull. So again, you're going to go inside here, and you're going to go in there, and you're going to just go right along, and you're going to pick up, I want to show you, can't see a needle, and you're going to go right along and sew this. And you want to sew it so that you know it's going to stick. You know that it's going to not come apart. And we're going to do it. I'm going to sew it I'm going to try to put this so that you can see what I'm doing. So you're going to come right across. I'll do it so that you don't see my fat little hands and that you can see what I'm doing. And you just go right along. And you keep sewing this. And I'm going to show you. See? And that's just, and see how nice and snug it is? Snug in a bug in a rug. That's what my grandson would say. Snug in a bug in a rug, Grandma. And you just go right across, and you just grab that, and we're going to do this right around the top. Now, I want to mention again that you don't have to make that, but I find it's so much simpler than having to play with tucking that in and then sewing it. If you make a nice edge before you do it, it just makes it, to me, so much easier to handle. And you don't have to keep playing with the material and saying, oh, I've got to do this, and I've got to, I've got to tuck that in. You don't have to. I just want to make it so to work easier and not harder. So I want to make it so that it's like, okay, I got it done. I've got the seams. I've got my seams sewed. I've got this sewed up. All I have to do is contend with is adding this and not having to say, well, I've got to flip this and make sure it's even, and no, you've already done it. You do it ahead of time. You do your seams ahead of time. You do all of that ahead of time, and you don't have to play with the inside of the material of the fleece and say, oh, the fleece isn't even. This is, to me, the easiest way to do this. And this is what you're going to do to add this lining all the way around. Now, if you want to pin the lining, you can. Pin it all the way around if you can. If you don't want to pin it, the reason I didn't pin it is because I've already got this sewn and I didn't feel as though I had to do it. But if you want to pin it before you start sewing it, by all means do so. But I didn't pin it because I had it all prepared. I did my seam in the middle. I did everything else. And you just do this right along and until you get to the very end. And then once you do the top, then you're going to do your bottom half. And you'll do that. And like I said, every once in a while, if you want to check yourself, you can check yourself and say, oh, wait a minute, it's not going through, right? You can check. Depending on what color it is, it'll be easier to see than the other. But all you have to do is, kind of, and grab enough. And then if you're saying, oh, did I grab too much? That's all right. Just turn it around and say, I won't be able to see the stitches. And like I said, just make sure you get yourself a sharp enough needle, because especially if you make that edging, it's going to be a little bit, but it's not going to be bulky. I want you to know that when you do that, it's not going to be bulky, so that when you put it on, I think it's bulkier feeling when you have to tuck it in as you go, but that's me. So this will go around and around until you get to the end. So if you want to stop this video and keep going and going and meet me at the end, you can do that. And like I said, check it out. And you're going to know right away if you went over and you went to the other side. I'll show you how. Say, oh, did I catch can they see so watch. If you go and you stitch, see, you're going to know, oh no, that's not right. I went too much. I just want to pick up a little on the inside. So yes, you can do that. So that's not a problem. And you just sew along as you go. And you will have to get, you'll have to rethread, because it's, you're going around and around. And when if you have to rethread, you just knot your thread from where you finished and just go and do that, and you're fine. And you'll just do this right along. And I'm going to just keep going, and I'll meet you at the end of this. And when we've started our other side, meet you then. Well, thank you for meeting me almost at the end of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep sewing until we get to the end. Now, I want to mention to you the reason that I say, or should say, start at the seam. So what I'm saying is start here when you go around on each side. because what'll happen is you'll know when you're getting to the end. So now I know I've gone all the way around and I'm getting to my end. So here I go. I'm getting to my end, almost there. And the other thing that I want to mention is that well, first of all, don't sew your finger to this. I almost grabbed my finger along with this. Is the other thing I want to mention is if you don't have a sewing machine, then just when you get your fleece, just fold your fleece over to the width that you need this to be, and then press it with an iron, and then sew it on. I'm just trying to find simpler ways for you to work this so that it's not, it just becomes easier for you to do this. So if you don't have a sewing machine, get your fleece, fold it in half, and you can sew this seam. You can sew it by hand and sew it together. And if you want to stitch this, but you can just flatten it with an iron, and then you'll be all set. So now I'm coming to my end because I can tell. See, I've only got a little space to grab. So I'm just going to grab this and going to pull it through. And I'm going to go in here. And this is what I did. And just make sure that you have your two. And you're just going to go through that. And it makes a little knot, and then just go through it again and make your little knot again. And that's it. And then you can cut this off. And I'm going to pull that to one side. And here it is. Here's your fleece lined. It's so nice and it's so soft. And if you just got to make it a little bigger on each side, just a little bit, and pull this right in. And then all you have to do is turn this over. And the nice thing is that you can't tell there's a lining in there. And believe me, when you put the lining in, you can really tell the texture. They're very, very warm. And there's your liner. Isn't that pretty? And it just looks really nice. And like I said, if you wanted to add that, and you can add that and just give it a little bit of, a little bit of your character in it. That's fine. And see, you can tell where the back is. So this is the back. So this is your front. And see, you can put a little flower in there. Or if you don't want to add anything, or you can put a little leather embellishment saying made by you, or whatever the leather piece would say. And this is how you make, and you have your lined ear warmers. And they're beautiful ear warmers, and they're beautiful. The fleece is so soft. It just adds a little more to it. And like I said, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. And just remember, you sew that together, and then you line them up. You line this up with this, with your crochet, and you turn your fleece to the right side out, and you turn your crochet ear warmers to the wrong side out. And when you're done putting it together, all you have to do is you're going to look at this, and you're going to see that when you look at your ear warmers and turn them from this side, and you're going to see that this is on the right side, so that's perfect. And you turn it, and this is your right side of your ear warmer. So that's the simple way to do this, and it's easy. And I thought, I have done it in the past with not doing this and having to work and make sure I get it in, get it even. This way here, by you doing this little extra, it just makes it so much easier to put together. And I want to try, when I do stuff like this, I do it the way I've done it. I did it that way. And I said, no, I want to make it easier for someone else to make them. And so this, to me, I felt was easy. If you wanted to add a lining, that you wouldn't have to go crazy trying to play with this, that you would just put it right in there and you just sew it, and it makes it easy. So this is Maria from Crochet A to Z, and this is how to add fleece. And if you want to also add an embellishment, I showed you how to make the flower. So that's up to you. And I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to do others as well. And they're really great. I have some really great patterns that you can make for these. So this is Maria from Crochet A to Z. I hope you liked this tutorial. Please push the subscribe button. Please push the like button. Tell your friends about this channel. I really love sharing stuff with you. I love having you all here. I'm going to be coming back tomorrow, and I'm going to be putting out a video on another stitch. Hopefully, I'm going to have it out by tomorrow night before the storm hits here, or hurricane hits, or tropical storm, or whatever they're going to call it by the time it comes. So hopefully I can get that out to you. And this, again, this is Maria from Crochet A to Z. Hope you all stay safe. And thank you for all being here. I really do appreciate you, and I love you all. We're all crochet people, and we want to teach, show you how to do things. We want to bring other people into crochet and make this a really beautiful crochet community. And I love having you all here. Thank you, and really have a great day. Bye-bye. Stay safe.